Not too long ago, Dee Bradley Baker, who will be voicing all of the clone troopers in Star Wars The Bad Batch, gave us some brand new information about the story of the series and about Omega herself, hinting at some very interesting details for her backstory. So, let's break them down. Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed and ready to go for The Bad Batch, which is releasing very shortly. I hope you guys are all hyped and ready to go for May the 4th. So, during an interview, Dee Bradley Baker gave a small update on The Bad Batch and gave us some hints at what might go down in the show. So I'll read the first part of that to you guys now. As hinted in the trailer, the Bad Batch come across a girl named Omega, who squirreled her way into the hearts of the unit. Whilst early episodes have yet to reveal how integral she is to the overall narrative, viewers will easily be able to notice parallels between Hunter and Omega's relationship and Din Djarin and Grogu's relationship in The Mandalorian. So right off, we learn for one that Omega is a female, which many people have been wondering about, and also that she has managed to capture the hearts of Clone Force 99. It looks like the group probably initially didn't want the burden of carrying around an extra member, especially one this young, but simply couldn't refuse and let her live a life serving under the Empire. We also learn that Omega's dynamic with the Bad Batch will be a very similar one to that of Grogu and Din Djarin. We already pretty much knew from the trailer that she would be sticking around for a large part of the show, but this now confirms that she will be an integral part of the series going forward. It's possible that Palpatine is chasing her for some of his cloning research that we know begins almost immediately after the Clone Wars ends, or she could be the key to something greater, possibly revolving around Dathomir, but we'll get into that in a second. Next up, he says, it's interesting in terms of the story, in the writing, to have this kind of personal relationship with a younger character, and to see how that changes and how they accommodate that and how that works, because it's more of like a uncle-niece or father-child dynamic, but not entirely, because Omega has her own interesting potential of powers, so it's interesting to see all of that unfold. Now, there's a lot to unpack in that statement. The first is that we know Hunter will now have a father-daughter relationship with Omega because of something that goes down in the show. We'll have to see what event draws the two together in that way, probably something to do with the Empire using Omega for experiments, or something else that just doesn't sit right with Hunter. We also get a very interesting hint at Omega's true identity when he says, Omega has her own interesting potential of powers. Now, many of you may be thinking, she's just Force sensitive. But in the galaxy, there's another branch of the Force which is far more relevant to Omega, and those are the Dark Force magics of Dathomir. We've already seen Omega use the Night Sister bow in the trailers, and it looks like it's a type of Night Sister bow which is foldable, as you can see from the shot on screen now. So I think we're definitely going to see some sort of connection to Mother Talzin, Ventress who is buried on Dathomir, or Morgan Elspeth. So Dathomir is shaping up to be a pretty major part of the show. And to end off, the statement says, I think it connects you to the story in a personal way, so that it's not just an action story, and Star Wars never is. There's a personal story that's also playing out as well, that connects you to the entire story. That's pretty consistent with most of the other Star Wars media, so there's definitely no surprises there. But I just wanted to give you guys that quick little news update so that you're all ready to go for Star Wars The Bad Batch, releasing very shortly. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.